4 years.
Yellow.
And they, for the very first time...
Norm, I talked to Barry White. He said...
he's a guest.
Wants to sweat on
on my show. We're going to have a lot of time to talk because I'm going to keep Imus here, hopefully, if I can, for the next 2 hours.
That's 3 Puerto Rican.
And we're going to have a chance. We're going to have ourselves an opportunity to get into some good things. Now, I first met this guy. I've got to give a little background. I first met this guy 5 years ago, Cleveland, Ohio. And met him at the time. See, he's going to do this to me, but I'm going to muddle through this. We met.
How's the wife, kids, Norm? They still in Cleveland?
So, anyway,
laughing, Norm.
see, I knew this was going to happen, but I said to myself, I'm going to fight it through the evening.
Barbie doll out there you're going with, so when you're married?
Anyway.
Good answer, Norm.
We will be talking about how he got into radio and why he got into radio. And he has really taken over this market. And he asked me a question before he was coming to New York, and I'll never forget this. This was in 1973, and he said he's
71, Norm.
That's right, it was 71. See, I'm all flustered. Anyway, he said, should I go to New York? And I told him, I said, yes, you should, because it's the greatest city in the world, and you really enjoy it.
I didn't ask him nothing.
And he did come here, and he's made himself a big success. And we will find out why he's on the radio. We'll find out why he comes in late, why he gave up his big singing career as an artist in the 50s. We have a record now. You like this kind of music. We're going to let you introduce it. Earl Lewis and the Channels.
Are the Earls going to be on anymore?
Larry Chance and the Earls are right over there.
That's awful. Those guys, awful. They're awful when they got a band. Forget a cappella. You know, their producer's my producer.
Really?
Paul DeFranco.
Right. You've got something coming out?
Some of his great hits have been Voodoo by Screamin' Jay Hawkins. They don't make them like that anymore. Reunion. And Joey Levine did Life is a Rock. Hey, Joey, all right, baby.
So he's producing the Earls.
Unfortunately for the Earls.
Anyway, you know, I don't think we're going to have to worry about playing a record up till news time.
I brought my favorite. What time is it, Arn?
Well, we've got about a minute and a half before the news. But we've got time.
But I'm trying to play I brought my favorite. I mean, of all the millions or thousands, whatever, records, I brought my all-time favorite rock and roll.
What's that?
Record.
What? Oh, are you going to tell us later on what it is?
I'll just play it for you. You're Mr. Music. See if you can figure out who it is.
I have an idea who it is.
Well, guess now.
Okay, I'll just, you know, every time
I'll give you three
him,
guesses. Let's have three guesses. What's your first guess? I'll write it down.
My first guess is your favorite record. You told me was I Need Your Lovin'.
Don Gardner and D.D. Ford. Okay.
Right.
You think it's that? What's number 2 of my favorite record? This is a great show.
Lollipop by the Chordettes. Am I close? Was it a Hank Ballard record?
Yeah.
A Hank Ballard record. Was it an Annie record?
Yeah.
Was it Work With Me, Annie?
No.
Annie Had a Baby?
No. Annie Had an Abortion. You didn't know about that one, did you?
No. That was the follow-up to The Baby, right?
It's an update. Yeah.
All righty. Well, we will have Don and this kind of thing going on from now until hopefully 10 o'clock.
Wrong, Norm. I'm not staying until 10 o'clock. Come on.
Well, anyway, we'll be sitting here chatting with Don Imus of Imus in the Morning on the Nite Train Show right after the news. We'll be back.
WNBC. Call in to cash in.
The New York Sound.
50,000 watts clear channel. This is the flagship station of the National Broadcasting Company. WNBC, New York.
NBC Radio News, this is Mike Neal. Secretary of State Kissinger.
For total news and information, it's News Center 97, WNWS FM. A WNBC exclusive, the Norman Knight Night Train Show.
66 WNBC.
66 WNBC. Mr. Music, Norman Knight on the Night Train Show. Imus in the Morning, and Hank Ballard and the Midnighters. Work With Me, Annie. You grew up around the Los Angeles area.
Grew up with Hank.
And music like this.
Yeah. Don and Dewey.
Was this the kind of music that really influenced you at first?
What was it, Norm? You know what I mean?
That really...
Hank Ballard, Don and Dewey, Vernon Green and Medallions.
Uh-huh. Now
Cleve Duncan and Penguins.
Now that kind of music
Johnny Otis.
was the real beginnings of rock and roll. A lot of people think that it was artists like Elvis Presley and a lot of artists like,
Well, they're wrong, Norm. They're dummies if they think that, you know. They should get your book, Rock On, published by T.Y. Kroll. Perhaps they should buy your album on Columbia Records. Maybe they should hear the Earls' new hit coming out on, we don't know yet, but Columbia Records, yeah.
Now, you brought a record that we'll be talking about some of your favorite records, and you picked a record as your favorite.
This is my favorite all-time rock and roll record. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm just going on record. They found Jimmy Hoffa, by the way.
Yeah.
Ted Kennedy drove him home.
All right, why don't you do an introduction on this song?
You got it, Maria? You looking good tonight, Mama. You understand what I'm saying? Ella Grasso held a news conference today. Tonight she'd been whooped with an ugly stick. Her husband's a front. Okay, I don't have to say anything about this record. Everybody knows about this record. Just go ahead on and play it.
Ehi compare, ci vuoi suonare? Chi si suona un friscaletto? E come si suona un friscaletto? Un friscaletto e tippiti ta. Ehi compare, ci vuoi suonare? Chi si suona un saxofona? E come si suona un saxofona? Tu, un saxofona. Un friscaletto e tippiti ta. Ehi compare, ci vuoi suonare? Chi si suona un mandolino? E come si suona un mandolino?
Now, you want to tell us why that's your favorite rock and roll record?
Because I got a pound of coke.
Okay. Now, all right, that's enough of that one. All right.
Makes you want to go sell some fruit.
I've got a... all right, it's 8:09 on the Nite Train Show.
A little joke, huh?
Yeah, we have a little joke. Now we do have the song that was picked. I just had to do that to him.
That's all right, Norm. That's funny. That's great.
The expression on his face was just too much. Now, he has a song now, and he did write down 3 titles, and I think I guessed his record because every time he used to call and say... I've got this great, big, fantastic stereo system, and I'm listening to your show, so why don't you play the record? And I did. I went over his house 2 weeks ago, and he wanted to impress me with this great, big stereo system, and he turned it on and blew out his speakers in the middle of his first record, so he couldn't...
That's the same story?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out in Radio Land going...
All right, now we've got the record.
Okay, go ahead, Maria, hit it. Oh, rock and roll music. Here's Norm and Knight.
Good old rock and roll music.
You know, it wasn't long ago. A new beat began to grow. It swept across this land that was known as
Good old rock and roll music.
we learned to do the jitterbug, the bunny hop, the bop and stroll. We began to feel the early beat of a sound called
Good old rock and roll music.
The music grew locally because of the Moondogger, Alan Freed, Joe Bynum, Big Wilson, Pete Mad Daddy Myers, Johnny Holiday, and Jerry G, just to name a few. That good old rock and roll music.
Rock and roll music.
It was a very simple beat. It really made you move your feet. It wasn't long ago that everyone grooved on
Rock and roll music.
I know you all recall the greatest days of all, when dancing was the thing and everyone would play and sing.
Rock and roll music.
It was a time for leather jackets, peg pants, and blue suede suede shoes, Bobby socks, ponytails, and Dick Clark record review. Record hops and soda shops, custom cars, and record stars, that good old rock and roll music. Rock and roll is here to stay. You always feel it when they play. A simple song that says so much, that good old rock and roll music. 66.
You were in Cleveland?
Yeah. That was a kind of a joke record.
Was it, Norm? It's funny now.
No, what we did was we had a kind of a fun thing going, and Vernon used to kid a lot of people the fact that I used to sing with a lot of different singing groups, and they made this big
tried
thing.
to cash in on that.
So anyway,
I don't know where Vernon was at.
They had this thing going. Anyway, we'll be back with Imus. I just want to do this thing about Cousin Brucey, and that's...
I don't want to hear about Cousin Bruce.
Okay. Well, I...
Lightweight, washed-up
All right.
old wimp. I mean,
over 1 million New Yorkers
Murray.
can read...
Bruce ripped off Murray, you understand?
Can read his column on music and radio and local newspapers. Be sure to read his weekly column in the great Brooklyn newspaper, the award-winning Brooklyn Spectator. Queens residents read him in the Queens Tribune, and also the CCNY. He's carried in the campus in Westchester. Pick up Cousin Bruce's The Entertainer. All right. Now, I really want to be serious for a couple of moments, because this is the first time I've had an opportunity to have the guy on the show, and we've been good friends. And I must go, before anything else, he's been more helpful in this town than anybody else, that as far as my friends go, and he kids me a lot and everything else like that.
Got some deals, you understand?
We've got some good friends. We
ripped off some folks.
We have the same lawyer, and we've kind of parallel things.
He's not a lawyer. Michael Lynn is not a lawyer. He doesn't have a degree, nothing. He's got nothing. So.
Anyway, and we wound up going to the same publisher with a book, and we wound up appearing at the same club that closed, Jimmy's, and we wound up doing the same thing, and wind up now at the same radio station. But Don...
dumped our old ladies.
Parallels there. Anyway, ever since I've been here now for 5 weeks, Don has been on the air here for 4 years, doing a tremendous job on WNBC, and... he works hard at it. Now, he puts out this big front of being a nasty Don Rickles type of a guy, but he's really a pussycat at heart, and he's a nice person, and he doesn't want people to know that. And I just want to say that,
yeah,
that he does.
To know.
He does help people out. He really does, but he doesn't want people to know that that's the kind of a guy he is. And we do have a common thing. I kid him about his musical tastes, but he likes country and western music, and he likes good old rock and roll music. He enjoys listening to the rhythm and blues sounds, and New York. It's the greatest oldies market in the country, and the people that have listened to my Nite Train show for 2.5 years know the kind of music I've been playing on the show.
Bored, too, no?
And this guy really enjoys that kind of music. He likes the groups. He likes the R&B stuff of the early 50s.
It's a great combo tonight. Larry Chance and me. It's really working out great. We both ran out of uppers at the same time, right before the show.
But anyway, I was apprehensive at first. I says, I'll never be able to get through the show. But I will say this much, and this is what I like about the guy. If he says he's going to do something, as far as his friends are concerned, he does it. And a lot of people say Don Imus would not show up if you said that to have him come up on a Sunday night. And I knew he would, because if he gives his word, he'll
not working for Jesus today, Norm. Right.
But anyway, seriously, you were a singer in the 50s, right?
No, singer. No, I'm not singer.
No, you what
Long Island, I'm a singer.
What did you record? You were telling me in the 50s on Challenge Records.
No, I don't want to talk about it.
On Challenge Records.
Yeah, the first label I was ever on was Duto Records. Later, Dutone.
Mm-hmm. Did you actually record on the label?
Yeah, I did some stuff, and Cleve Duncan and the Penguins did the backup for me. I was the only white act I ever had, you know what I mean?
You really?
Yeah.
What was the name of the song?
I forget now, Norm.
But you actually recorded for Duto?
Yeah, Norm. No, I'm lying, Norm.
All right. And you told me something you did for Challenge Records?
I did I used to watch Joe Johnson comb his hair. Mel Bly used to come out and change sport coats. We send a coat to the disc jockeys. You know?
So then, what really, you said you wanted to get into radio. This guy, back around, it had to be, I'd say about, 68 or so, he's working on a railroad. And at that point, he decided to become a disc jockey. And he went to, the disc jockey school?
Don Martin Radio School.
Don Martin Radio School. And he took a correspondence course?
No, I didn't take a correspondence course. I actually attended class.
He attended class.
For a week.
And the course was how long? 6 weeks long?
So I don't know, something like that.
Anyway, he did it. He went on to become
money from the VA. I went on a GI Bill, you know. It's really a good deal. Because they phone you up the thing, you get the check anyway, you don't care, you know.
You know,
never get a check to the school, and they threw me out. They did, yeah.
This guy was actually in the Marine Corps.
That's right.
Can you imagine, Don Imus,
They get to off any slopes.
being in the Marines, but then he decided...
In a band, Norm.
Were you really?
1st Marine Division band.
Do you play a musical instrument?
What do you think I did in the band?
Well, a majorette. I mean, I don't know. You know.
Played the trumpet.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. He plays
I'll be appearing with the Earls.
We're at Pal Joey's.
Yeah, we'll be at Pal Joey's, you know.
But anyway, really, seriously, why did you want to get into radio?
I was going to play my own records. I couldn't get anybody to play my records. I guess I wanted money. You know, Herman Griffin, all them guys in L.A.
So anyway,
Hudson and Landry. Hudson was a big jock then. By himself, he wanted some doper money, so...
Now you've been in New York now for 4 years.
Yeah.
Now, seriously, what do you think of the market?
I like it. I like Cleveland, too. I was only in Cleveland for a year, but... I like New York.
That was a more interesting thing, New York, than Los Angeles.
I'm crazy about Queens, you know, or Jersey. But other than that...
One question a lot of people have asked me, and I want to ask you right now.
How many people, Norman?
How
many people asked you this question first?
About 15.
Okay.
All right. They want to find out, why is it that you show up late in the morning? Is that an intentional thing, or do you really have trouble getting up?
No, it's the Valium DeFranco gives me. They're too strong, you know. I can't wake up.
Okay. All right. We will be back with Imus in the Morning. We've got another record, Maria? Okay, play the record. I don't even know what's next.
The song that you sang so sweetly, you called it our love refrain. It's gone and I'm left completely out in the cold again. I dreamed that our love would linger, but just memories remain. I gaze at the ringless finger out in the cold again. True, it hurts my pride to step aside, but somebody knows why deep down inside my whole world depends upon you. I wanted your arms around me to shelter me from rain, and now I'm back where you found me, out in the cold again, out in the cold again.
66 WNBC with Mr. Music Norman Knight on the Nite Train Show. And there you go, out in the cold again with Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers. And Imus in the Morning, my special guest on the Nite Train Show. And we'll be chatting with Don. But first of all, Vernon Heights, the AMC Jeep dealer in Mount Vernon, is beginning his bicentennial celebration with his fabulous offer. For a limited time only, with a purchase of a new Matador, factory-installed air conditioning is absolutely free. Now, while at Vernon Heights, don't forget to enter their fantastic revolutionary sweepstakes. Just one more way they're celebrating the bicentennial. Just listen to some of the 56 prizes being offered. A $50 United States savings bond, plus 2 tickets to a Yankee baseball game, Roy White's cleats, and a can of foot powder. 10 personally autographed actual team baseball bats.
Get out of here. What is that?
A Yankee team autographed baseball bat, personally autographed snapshots of Bobby Bonds or Catfish Hunter, clock radios, a pair of tickets to a Broadway show, dinner for 2 at Thursdays, and a pair of tickets for a Knicks basketball game. So stop in at Vernon Heights today for entry blank and complete rules. No purchase required. All licensed drivers are eligible. Drawings for all prizes will be held on Announcement Day, September 6, 1975. Remember, Vernon Heights in Mount Vernon, the dealer who does everything with a revolutionary spirit. We make it happen, and is void where prohibited. Norman Knight on the Nite Train Show with Don Imus. I've got him away from the microphone for a moment because he's going through some albums trying to find something that he'd like to hear. Because I said, if you're going to be on the show, listen, if there's any kind of music you want to play, if it's rock and roll and you enjoy it, we'll have you do it. And while he's away from the microphone, again, the things I wanted to bring out, I know if I ask him a very serious question, he is not going to come up with a very serious answer. So the point is, what I'm trying to do right now is to be able to say that this guy, I'm not going to throw any flowers his way or anything and try and build him up. But he he has been a good friend, and he's been a very big performer in the New York area, and he's been doing an awful lot. He's, of course, had very good ratings here in the mornings. He's been doing, he does the announcing on Good Night America with Geraldo Rivera. He's writing a book right now, and the interesting thing about the book is when he came to New York, he told me, when I came to visit him, he says, hey, guess what? He says, I'm working on this book. Now, this was about 3 years ago. So when I came here about 2.5 years ago, he said he's still working on the book. And then all of a sudden, my book came out, and he's still working on his first book, and I'm working on 2 more, which I hope to have done.
There's something a little slightly different between a novel and a rip-off rock and roll dictionary with Hank Beller's shirt size. I don't know how to tell you this. I mean, it may shock you.
But anyway, that's another thing he's done, and he's also released several albums on RCA and a single. And now his brother has got himself
what is this, Queen for a Day? Am I going to get a washer when this is over? I don't want to hear about all this.
I'm just giving the people a background because you know what he does? He never comes on. You know, in a way, he does sometimes hype some of the things he wants to, but he doesn't come on and talk about himself.
I don't like to think of it as hype.
So I just wanted to take, about 2 minutes to let the people know what you've done. And again, like I said, he became a disc jockey. He was working in California, in Stockton, and small towns like that, Palmdale. He came up to Cleveland, Ohio in 1970, and he became the morning man at a radio station there with myself and Bob Vernon and another guy who just came into New York, Chuck Collier, and the program director here and station manager. He stayed in Cleveland for
one night. He's in trouble. Guy's in trouble. Sounds awful.
He stayed in Cleveland for a year, came to New York, and for the past 4 years has been the morning man. So now we're all together at the same station. I just wanted to bring you up to date on this, the things that he's been doing.
We're all very happy. Aren't we, Norm?
Oh, I knew everybody forewarned me. They said, don't have the guy on the show. But anyway, now, why do you think, New York is an oldies town? You must have your opinions. Why do you think everybody in this town loves these old sounds so much? You have any idea?
Well, I don't, Norm. I like them. I don't know why they like them.
He has a jukebox at home, an old Wurlitzer jukebox, the kind that from the 50s. And you go over to his house, and he's got some country and western records in there, and then he's got a lot of old rock and roll records. I'll never forget when he invited me over for the very first time. A very nice, posh area of town on the east side, and you go in there, and he's got the records blasting. You can stand at the elevator, and you can hear the music being, all the way down the hallway. But that's how much he really enjoys the music. That's the only reason I wanted to have him on the show. People say, why did you have the guy on the show? Very simple, because Don Imus really enjoys this kind of music, and I want to give him an opportunity to talk about the records, pick out anything he wants to play, and just have fun with it.
I want to hear Jive and James Breaking Up's Hard to Do. Remember that one?
See? He said he wants to, and I don't have the record in the studio.
Mr. Music does not have the record?
Well, we only have a small amount.
Libertor's got it.
All right. We have a song right now that a friend of yours, Larry Lynn, requested, and he wanted to send us out to Barry and Anita. And this is done by a group that was very popular in the New York area called the Schoolboys. And it's a ballad.
I remember them. Larry used to sing with Norman Fox and the Rob Roys. Did you know that?
That's what he claims.
Oh, he did.
Well, anyway.
He didn't? Well, you're Mr. Music, did he or didn't he?
No. He's going to call up. Anyway, we will have
Everybody
right
know
now...
that Barry White gave you that bracelet? Show me a bracelet, Norm.
All right, here we go with the Schoolboys and the Nite Train Show.
Be
66, WNBC and the Schoolboys, and Please Say You Want Me. Well, Mr. Music, Norma Knight and Don Imus. Imus in the Morning, huh? And that's a group that comes from Harlem, and they had themselves one. We've got an instrumental right in the background now called It's the Tall Cool One.
Is this a new thing?
No, this is an old one. This is an old song by the Wailers. So we will have Don on as long as he can stay, but I'd like to get into some serious things, if I may. I asked him if he wanted to entertain some calls on the phone from listeners that want to ask him questions about rock and roll and what he does on the station, and maybe we'll do just that after the news. But right now, we'll take a break for the news, and we'll be rocking on till 10 o'clock tonight with all the hits of the Nite Train Show.
WNBC, calling to cash in.
Hear the summer excitement in Rockefeller Center. 6 WNBC, New York City.
Good evening. It's 70 degrees and cloudy at 8:30. I am Nick Charles. Samuel Bronfman, the heir to the Seagram fortune, is alive.
A WNBC exclusive. The Norma Knight Night Train Show.
66 WNBC.
WNBC with Norma Knight on the Nite Train Show at 8:35 on a Sunday evening. My special in-studio guest, Imus of Imus in the Morning. You remember this song. Do you remember who had the original on it, Don? This was Frankie Lyman, Little Bitty Pretty One.
Thurston Harris.
That's right. That's right. See? That guy does know his music. Well,
You're dumb, aren't you? I like you, but you're dumb.
Anyway, why is it that you do like artists like, you know, Little Richard or Hank Ballard or Don Gardner or some of that, or country music? That's an interesting
I don't know.
But you do like country music?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I don't know why I like them. I just like them.
Who are some of the country artists you would really enjoy? You were asking me when you called me the other day, some of the country records that
like
you...
Waylon a little bit. You know, Willie Nelson, Earl Haggard.
He spends an awful lot. Before we go any further, I would like to say that if you have a question, we can't put it over the air because we do not have a delay, and I dare not have anybody
He's dead. Still like him, yeah.
put a question over the air to Imus with no telephone delay. So if you have a question you'd like to ask Don Imus, you can give us a call at area code 212-666-1212. We have people standing by to write your questions down, and then we'll ask them on the air, questions if you want to, whatever you want to know, or whatever.
I'm not answering nothing.
Well, we'll see what you can say, because I can't think anymore with you on the show. This guy, he does a lot of, he's very busy, but one thing that he spends an awful lot of time doing, and that is sitting home, writing, and also listening to music. And if you come over his house, and someday you might be invited, if you sound right over the telephone, you can come over to his house, and he will have, he will play for you. He will play for you some country and western music or good old rock and roll music.
My new favorite record, I should have brought it with me, is the amazing Rhythm Aces, Third Rate Romance, Low Rent Rendezvous.
Where do you dig up records like that?
It's a hit record. It's a hit record, Norm. Look in your Billboard chart area. Third Rate Romance, Low Rent Rendezvous.
He works, you know, another thing, he works very hard at material. The things that he does, you can always tell what kind of a night he's had, because if he comes on the air and doesn't say much except time and temperature and plays a lot of records, or if he uses old material,
I'm renegotiating.
That means, or that means he's had a kind of a restless night. He's been just taking it easy. But if he's been working the night before and he comes up with very witty things, that means he's been sitting in front of his typewriter. And it's very difficult to get this guy. There's another thing. He doesn't like to go to parties. He doesn't like to go out. He doesn't like to have a drink. He just likes to drink coffee. A lot of times friends will call him up and say, Don, listen, there's a big party going on. He never wants to go.
I'll smoke some dope in a minute, Jim.
He likes to sit home.
Little joke.
And what he really enjoys doing more than anything else is just being by himself. He's a loner.
That's right.
And he just loves music. So this is why it's kind of a difficult thing for people to really visualize the type of person Imus really is when he's off his show, and he doesn't want to be bothered with people. And the funny thing I will tell you right now, that if he hangs up the telephone on you, or if he has a nasty thing to say to you, it's generally because he likes you. Because here's the kind of a guy he is. If he doesn't care about you, he'll simply avoid you. He just won't talk to you.
You know what I think I like about the old records? They all were clean. I mean, there wasn't a lot going on, you know. They were.
Did you sit in studios back in the 50s when they were recording some of these things?
Yeah, I was, well, it wasn't the 50s, it was, no, like the early 60s, and I used to hang out at Gold Star Studios on Santa Monica Boulevard there in L.A., where they cut, where Phil Spector cut a lot of his stuff with Larry Levine. And I was there when they recorded "You Lost That Lovin' Feeling."
Were you at that session?
I was there when the Righteous Brothers did a voiceover, you know, or did the, you know, I don't know what they did then. I guess did they do tracks then?
Well, stereo.
Yeah, kind of overdubbed. They overdubbed the voices on the Wall of Sound Orchestra, and they had a speaker salon and stuff. Really sounded awful, you know. I thought, boy, that's a stiff.
When you heard the song, that's what you thought, right?
Yeah, it was so loud, Norm. When I heard it over the radio, I thought, hey, somebody got to the disc jockey. But they were Righteous Brothers were. They were influenced greatly by Don and Dewey.
Right, but you know also that the Righteous Brothers, they had what they call that blue-eyed soul. They were influenced by the black music of the West Coast. And in fact, a lot of people, when they first heard them...
Did you ever hear their record, Try to Find Another Man?
No.
Oh, great record.
Is it?
It's on the flip side of... Jack Nietzsche arranged it. And it was a sensational record, Try to Find Another Man. I think you better try to find another man.
Well, they...
Bobby, you know, the high voice down, all you ever do is sit around in front of the TV and feed your fat face. And, Okay. I can't believe you never heard that record. Try to Find Another Man, Norm. Did you give me a copy of it?
No. The thing is, see, Don brings up an awful lot of records.
It wasn't a big hit, you know.
That he said, did you ever hear this? Did you ever hear that? And the thing that he doesn't realize is the fact that there were so many regional hits in the 50s. There were hits that are, like in this area, when you first came here, I'm sure certain groups, like you never heard of the Harp Tones, or maybe the Clef Tones, or whatever.
Never heard of the Earls.
These were groups that were singing and making hits in the New York area. And on the West Coast, it was like Vernon Green and the Medallions, and the Penguins, and so many of these other groups that were recording there. And in Chicago, it was the Moonglows and the Spaniels, and there were geographic hits in those areas. And a lot of people would come up, and I myself have asked a lot of people in the New York area, did you ever hear of this song? And they've never heard of them. It's primarily because those songs were played in that area.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of artists like the Righteous Brothers or people like that have had some dynamite records, and but most of the people have been influenced by the black artists.
Yeah.
People that they used to go in the studios. I've talked to a lot of them here. They'd go into studios here and they'd just sit down and they'd maybe have to cut 15 songs in one night. Different groups would come in. The musicians would just be jamming, and those songs that had that magical quality, bang, all of a sudden it was a hit. And, you know, like I know you don't have to bother with records today because we get a playlist that we go from. But
I wish I had to bother with them. You know, I'd take some money to play
Yes,
some
he says he'd
records.
rather have a job. He says he'd rather have a job getting paid $250 a week plus the payola, or having a job that's going to pay him about $3,000 a week.
No, there's no such thing as payola. We all know that, man.
In the discos, they say there is.
In the discos?
They say they get $50 a night to play the records. The Village Voice did an article. $50 a night to play the records, and under the table they can get maybe $300 or $400 because they don't have to deal with the FCC. So they can get a record from a record company and play it 30 times a night, and they don't have anyone to deal with. So, anyway, we've got another one of the Hank Ballard records coming up right now. This is a song called Sexy Ways. And the interesting thing about these songs, if you listen to the lyrics, now this song was out in 1954, 21 years ago. And the lyrics that you listen to, and radio stations were playing them. And then all of a sudden they started hearing them and they were taking them off the air. They said they were race records and they didn't want to play them, and now stations today are playing them. But Hank Ballard was writing some pretty suggestive material.
This may be my favorite Hank Ballard record, other than
Work With
No,
Me,
I guess it is.
Baby.
I guess Sexy Ways is my favorite Hank Ballard.
All right, why don't you introduce it?
Yeah.
WNBC. And there you go. Sexy Ways with Hank Ballard and the Midnighters. Mr. Music on the night along with Imus in the Morning. We'll be back in just a moment.
This is Orson Welles.
Once I built a tower.
I have only a moment to tell you about a picture you will remember as long as you live. Brother, can you spare a dime?
Brother, can you spare a dime?
We're in the money. We've got a lot of what it takes to get along.
Here are the 30s. Headlines, breadlines, and chorus lines. And my own Halloween surprise for 1939, the War of the Worlds broadcast. Brother, can you spare a dime?
Hooray for Hollywood. That's gooey bally hooly Hollywood.
The most electrifying entertainment extravaganza ever, featuring the most star-studded spectaculars ever splashed across the silver screen. I was there. You'll be there, too. See, Brother, can you spare a dime? This is a picture. When comes such another?
Brother, can you spare a dime? Now playing at the Plaza Theater.
WNBC listens to you. What is of value to you?
The thing I value most in life is really twofold. First of all, my faith in God, and my children's happiness and welfare.
I have to say that I value trust, being able to trust people and having people being able to trust me.
The thing I value most is my eyesight. I was born legally blind, but, my eyes are good enough that I can function, pretty normally. Mm-hmm. And lately they've been going, and I don't really know how much longer, I'm going to have my eyesight, so I really value it a lot.
I value myself most, because without me there's nothing. And I value other people, because without other people I can't value myself.
Your comments welcome. Write WNBC, New York, 10020. WNBC cares.
Right now, I want you to win cash in WNBC's great $66,000 contest. The amount now is $500 in cash. New York State Lottery ticket date, August the 7th. Your New York Lottery number must read all 7 digits in order. Box A1. Box B, 640. Box C, 607. Now you have 1 hour to be the first to call the WNBC favorite things, whatever. Did you ever come up with an answer for me in regards to on your morning show why you show up late?
I don't explain it, Norm.
All right. Is there any reason then why you do the type of an act that you do on the air?
Because it's successful.
Okay.
I don't really do it. I just do what I want to do. I do what I do what I like.
Did you ever as disc jockeys? Did you ever have some favorite disc jockeys?
Yeah.
That you were listening to that. Who?
You got a note there? All some of the questions.
There was.
Well, I like Julius LaRosa is one of my favorites.
Here's some questions that people. I don't know if you want to.
Go ahead and ask me. I'll answer them.
They said this. Now, what country were you born in? That's what somebody wants to know. That's what somebody actually asked. And does he speak Polish? And about the daughter. No, I don't know. They want to know what country and where you born. Do you speak Polish?
What else do they want to know, Norm?
The Please Mr. Custer song on your show. If Westchester County show or something like that? I can't understand what these questions are.
Let me see.
A 16-year-old likes your show and wants to know about your...
Let me look at the paper, Norm.
I can't...
Okay, let me see here. Question number 1, the answer to that is 9 inches. Question number 2... That's about all I can come up with.
Some people say that, like your own material, I know that you write your own material, but a lot of people say that you swipe a lot of material. Is that true?
No.
Okay, that's what I figured. When you come on, where do you get your ideas from to write?
National Lampoon.
You've had some lawsuits of people coming up against you. What was the biggest one ever filed against you?
$10 million.
What was that for?
Said something about some cops I probably shouldn't have.
Okay. And
I said they took dope and money under the table,
So that resulted in a $10 million lawsuit.
Yeah. But it was settled out of court.
Mm-hmm.
I gave him some dope and money under the
table. What do you enjoy? You're doing radio now, but if there's anything aside from that, now you've tried singing, and also you've tried a nightclub act.
I wasn't very successful singing, no. I've been very successful in nightclub acts. I don't.
Out of everything, television or anything else. I mean, you have an ultimate thing. You told me one time in Cleveland in
I want to be as big as Williams.
In 1970, he told me.
That's my dream, Norm, to be William B. Williams.
One day he would like to have be the person to replace Johnny Carson. Remember when you said that? You said you would like to replace Johnny Carson.
I changed my mind. Now I want to replace Jeff Edwards.
Would you enjoy doing television?
No.
Don did a TV show in Cleveland. He did a TV show in Cleveland.
He was sponsored by Gene Chandler.
Yeah, well, that was a special. That was your radio station on TV.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
But he did a thing with movies.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
On a United Artists TV station
movies,
there, Channel 43.
What a great idea,
and he came on. He did his Reverend Billy Saul Hargis. He did all his other characters. He was dressed in costume.
And
it was always on Friday nights. And he would come on. And how long did that show run?
Well, about an hour, Norm.
He ran 13 weeks, and he really enjoyed it. Would you like to ever do a show like that again?
No, I like radio.
You like radio? Radio's the thing that you really like to continue on. And how about nightclubs? Do you enjoy that?
Oh, no, I don't like nightclubs. I don't like the environment, you know.
You don't?
There's nothing there, no. I like radio because you can, hide behind the microphones. It's a little...
Now tell me something. People say that guys in radio are the type of people that they're extroverts on the microphone and in a studio, but
we're all shy, insecure,
to themselves.
Neurotic.
You do not like, for example, you don't like crowds, right?
No, I don't. No.
All right, and you prefer staying home as opposed to going to clubs. And when you get invited to parties, you generally don't like to go.
I don't go. No.
Why is it? Because people always try and ask you the same stupid questions like I'm asking you today?
I'm just very insecure and shy,
And how about people have the idea of yourself being a swinging singles man?
No, I'm working for Jesus, Norm. Now you know that. I'm working for Jesus today.
What kind of a girl?
It's half for me and half for Jesus.
Do you like?
What kind of $300 and threw it up in the air, and he didn't get it, so I kept it. Tried to give it to him,
What kind of a girl?
Say, hey, baby.
What kind of a girl interests you?
What kind of a girl interests me?
Yeah. Any special kind?
I sort of like your wife, If anything if you ever split up, let me know, will you?
Well, you make me lose my train of thought. All righty.
That's kind of clever the way you tied that in. Train of thought, Nite Train Show.
7 minutes before
you have
the
that
hour.
Little Richard thing that Little Richard and I did? The intro for the Nite Train Show?
Yeah.
Where is that? Why don't you play that?
Abe knows where it's at.
Do you have that, Harry?
Oh. No, he'll...
Do you care whether we play it or not?
No, Abe knows where it's at. He'll go get it. Abe's one of our salesmen here. Anyway, we will play something
that cab driver Abe rode over here with.
Oh, there was a cab driver.
What was his name?
Sirico, I think. Sirico.
Tom Sirico.
That brought him over here, and they were driving in a taxi cab, and they were listening to the Nite Train Show, and they wanted a song, so we're going to play
Tom wanted to hear the closer... No, he wanted to hear...
Tonight,
for the Mellow
or
Kings.
he wanted to hear In the Still of the Night.
Fred Paris and
the Five Satins. Do you have a favorite? Now, you've heard a lot of the New York records that we've played, and have you acquired a certain favorite? Aside from the ones that you knew when you were listening to radio in L.A.?
No, I haven't, no.
You've been invited to go to a lot of rock and roll revival shows, but yet you've chosen not to. Is it because...
Richard Nader couldn't come up with any money. Yeah.
Well, I mean, do you enjoy the shows? Have you ever seen any rock and roll show?
No, I don't like to go to crowds and I want autographs and stuff.
You just stay home, huh?
Very lonely to stay home.
For those people that have not seen you, now you had your face on the bus posters and you've been
I'm on TV with the Geraldo,
right?
4 seconds every 2 weeks.
The people, for example,
my claim to fame is I'm the Ed McMahon to that Mexican.
What was the reason why, for example, that you've changed your image? Who suggested you getting your new hairstyle? Was that something that you wanted to do, or somebody that...
No, I wanted to do it.
All right, because be more contemporary.
I just had a birthday. I turned 28, and I thought, well...
No, he did have it. He did have himself a birthday, and he just turned...
Why do you wear that screw around your neck, Norm? What does that mean? I have a silver bullet. See my silver bullet?
Who gave you that, Tonto?
No, I woke up one morning, and I didn't feel well. And I was laying on a pillow. I don't know who the masked man was, but it was something.
I'll tell you one thing. In all the times I've been doing a show, you usually know what you're going to be asking a person and the whole thing. But every time you have a serious question, okay, I'll tell you what. You can give that. We'll go.
This is an intro that I did for the Nite Train Show.
We'll play this now.
And it's a Little Richard record.
Yeah.
Good golly, Miss Molly, sure like the ball. What does that mean?
5 years ago, I was doing a show called the Nite Train Show in Cleveland, and I asked Don. I says, "Would you be so kind as to cut an intro?"
So I did my impression of Little Richard. Now you might make that plain. In your Larry Kinney area, I did me, and then I did Little Richard, and then we played a Little Richard record. So
with Little Richard.
Woo! It's time now for Nite Train. Wow! Ow! Hi, this is Little Richard. You listen and you're aboard the great Nite Train with Norman Knight. The Nite Train. Ow! Norman, come on. Oh, the Night Hawk is here. The Nite Train. Oh, Norman. Ooh. Good golly, Miss Molly. So like the ball. Oh, good golly, Miss Molly. So like the ball. Miss Molly, I have to watch my proper self. Good golly, Miss Molly. Don't let it fall. When you're rocking and a rolling, can't hear your mama call. Good golly, Miss Molly, don't knock the bone. Oh, good golly, Miss Molly, don't knock the bone. Oh, when you're rocking and a rolling, can't hear your mama call. Going to the corner, gonna buy down the rain with the hug me, kissing, make me ting-a-ling-a-ling. Good golly, Miss Molly, don't knock the bone. Oh, when you're rocking and a rolling, can't hear your mama call.
6 to 6, WNBC with Norma Knight and Imus in the Morning. Now, what do you think of a record like that?
I like that. That's it. You know,
What made a song like that so special? You know, Little Richard's band now.
A great band, though. You know.
And he used about 4 saxophones and just wailed away. Did you ever have a chance to see him in the 50s? Not today when he's goofing so much on stage, but did you ever see him perform in the 50s, early 60s?
I remember one time Phoenix, Arizona, 1956. Saw Little Richard, Laverne Baker, Fats Domino.
Fats Domino, he's another
all
one
on
of
the
your
same
favorites,
show.
right?
Great show.
You know, I think the piano players like a Fats Domino, Huey Piano Smith, Little Richard, those
Love
guys
Huey
like that.
Piano Smith.
Oh, that just do some great piano work. You know, it'd be interesting sometimes is to see those guys all on stage doing a show. I'd love to see like Fats and Richard and Huey Smith and all of them on with about 3 or 4 pianos with a big band like that behind them, just jamming on stage. Probably a heck of a type of a
5 minutes and be sick of that. Guys are old now, Norm. You know.
The one person wanted to know if you're going to be appearing in Westchester County doing any shows. That was one of the
I
questions.
just found out I didn't win the Disc Jockey of the Year thing.
Oh, that's right. Don Imus was
They
nominated.
gave it to Gary Owens. Do you believe that?
Gary Owens of Laugh-In, Don Imus, and a guy who worked at a station that we worked at in Cleveland, John Lanigan, at the old station. He calls
there was
himself
a lot of
Lanigan
guys.
in the Morning.
This
3
was-
guys, though.
No, it wasn't the 3 guys. No,
I mean, there was the
the
finalists. There were 3 guys down to the finalists.
No, that's not true, Norm. It was about 10 guys, in different categories. I'm talking about this is the overall Disc Jockey of the Year
We're
thing.
going to be back with Don
Between
because
Gary Owens and I didn't win, Norm, and I'm upset.
WNBC. Call in to cash.
50,000 watts, clear channel. This is the flagship station of the National Broadcasting Company. WNBC, New York.
Total news and information, it's News Center 97, WNWS FM.
A WNBC exclusive, the Norman Night Train Show.
66 WNBC.
All right, now. Hey, Ballard, what kind of hay? Can't work no more. No, baby. Can't work no more. Every time we start to work, you have to stop and walk the baby across the floor. She has to walk with the baby instead of me. Talk to the baby instead of me. Sing to the baby instead of me. Cling to the baby instead of me. Now I know and it's understood. That's what happens when the getting gets good. And I had a baby can't work no more. And I had a baby.
66, WNBC with Norman Knight on the Nite Train Show, and my special guest, Imus In The Morning, Hank Ballard. Annie Had a Baby. It was interesting. They had all those Annie records at that time.
How many did they have altogether?
Well, they had Work With Me, Annie, then Annie Had a Baby, then Annie's Aunt Fanny, and there was, there must have been about, I don't know, about 4 or 5 of them that he had right in a row, Annie records. Don also during the news.
What were the 4 or 5 they had in a row? Want to name them? Got some music?
We just did.
Oh, I see. You named 3, Norm. I don't know. Norm, I got to go home and get a bed.
Anyway, you know, I do know that you have to go home and go to sleep because he's supposed to be in here at 6 o'clock in the morning. So
I'll be here.
For all of you,
6 a.m. I'll be here.
He is supposed to be here.
Ready, Jack.
At 6 o'clock in the morning. If he is not,
kick ass in the morning.
You'll know why he's not. Anyway, he did say this one thing that during the news, that if ever sometime I would not be able to make the show because of some commitment or something, that he'd enjoy sitting in and playing all his records on the Nite Train Show. Hank Ballard.
My personal records, but the ones I like.
Fats Domino, Don Gardner and Dee Ford, songs like that. But, you know, of course, for those of you who don't know, he works here at the station every morning, 6 till 10 a.m., Monday through Friday, and Saturdays 8 till noon. Is there any place you're going to be appearing as far as shows or concerts or anything people can look for? And, of course, he's on the Geraldo Rivera's Good Night America every 2 weeks.
This week for that.
Really?
Yeah, it would go off, then it goes back on in the fall or a little, I don't know.
Now, the book that you're working on, when do you figure it might be finished?
I don't know, no. Took Joseph Heller 12 years to write something happen, you know?
This guy, well, you've been working on this one now, 4 years?
I've been thinking about it, you know.
All right, so he's working...
The Life Story of Billy Saul Hargis, titled, Hi, I'm Jesus.
But we had a guy call during the news, and he said that he went out to Del Rio, Texas, and he looked to find out this school, and he couldn't find it. He wanted to know if it moved.
Did you tell him to get some rest?
Anyway, you are also going to be premiering very shortly.
On the radio in the morning. That's it. You know.
His brother is a writer, and he's written some interesting songs. And very shortly, his brother's going to have a brand new record coming out. And talented family. Anyway, is there anything?
Mom's doing well. Dad's dead.
You know, I tell you, I wanted to be able to present an interesting type of a show.
We've had an interesting show, no?
And you know what we'll have to do sometime? We'll bring maybe some of your favorite entertainers. We'll have you come back sometime, and maybe we'll get maybe
I'd
we'll
like to have like maybe get like Richie Valens, like Big Bopper, maybe Buddy Holly, get Jimmy and Janice, and just have a really, you know, get all our old game back together.
Anything specially planned for tomorrow's show?
Tomorrow morning?
Mm-hmm. You have any material on the kidnappings?
I don't think that's funny.
You
know.
Well, I mean, you're always doing something with controversial issues.
Yeah, but that's a personal tragedy kind of thing, you know. They stole some beer. I might have done some of that clown's whiskey, but
anyway, it was.
Except the Jimmy Hoffa thing is kind of funny, I think, because who cares? Like, who cares about Patty Hearst? I'm sick of Patty Hearst. I'm sick of hearing about it. Bette Midler had a good line about Patty. They have a new thing at McDonald's: the Hearst burger, no patty.
So, anyway, you can catch Don Imus. See, this is the first time, too, also, because a lot of people can't pick up the show in the mornings because the signal at night, a lot of other places, they can pick it up. So when they come into New York to try and catch your show in the morning, 6 to 10 a.m., Imus in the Morning. And I do want to thank him so much for coming by. And
they want me to tell the wife, kids?
Who, yours?
No, yours. Everybody knows I have a wife and kids. Nobody knows you do, Norm. Poor little babies out there in Cleveland on welfare. You're here in a Big Apple, riding around a Rolls Royce.
Anyway, I do want to thank
Jay and the Americans. So what number you want to play today, Jay?
Thank him so much for being on the show, and it was kind of interesting, I think.
Oh, I appreciate it, Norm. You know, it's been a lot of fun.
It's like I said, it's been a long time since we've had a chance to work together. So thank you so much. We have the last record, which is a group that recorded for Specialty, Don and Dewey, an up-tempo thing called Justine. You want to?
The Wretched Brothers did this too.
Well, this was the original. Justine, they have "Leaving It Up to You," which was later recorded by Dale and Grace. They did many of the original songs. Very talented duo that not too many people know about. Do you know their real names?
Don and Dewey?
Don Sugarcane Harris.
That's right.
And Dewey Terry.
That's right.
Okay. Don and Dewey, you want
What size shirt did they wear, Norm? Did they wear boxer shorts or little brace like you?
You want to introduce it?
Here they are now. I'm going to get into you, Justine.
Justine! Sisters, brothers, uncles, crazy child. Justine, who just won't treat me right. Justine, won't treat me right. You like the ball in the morning, stay out late. Ow, ow, shop, wanna have them do me up, wanna get creep on my little buttercup. Justine, she my loving baby, and you know she drive me wild. My mama, papa, sisters, brothers, uncles, crazy child. Wow!
66 WNBC, that's for Don Imus. Don and Dewey and Justine, again, thanking Imus in the Morning for paying a visit on the Nite Train Show, and it'll never be the same. You know, contrary to popular belief, women do not get to positions of power by sleeping with the right people. It's the mind and not the body that does it. Well, read Playing the Power Game in this month's Viva magazine. In the same issue is a fascinating interview with the actor's actor, the leading director's director, and every lady's leading man, Jack Nicholson. Now, if you've been wondering who picks up the check nowadays, man or woman, get the surprising answer in The Politics of Paying, all in Viva, the most beautiful and sensual women's magazine. The September issue is on your newsstand now. 9:16 with Mr. Music.
The New York sound.
That Apollo Theater is the greatest.
Do you recall WNBC?